Hello, welcome. Good to see you there, Blue X. Good to see you, Suzanne Likes Cake. I hope you're both doing great today. Welcome in. Thank you for joining me. Yeah, day 10 on the streak. Might as well keep the streak running, right? Because we have been doing a good streak anyway, so why not keep trying it? That's what I say. I don't expect to do it tomorrow though. I think tomorrow we'll break the streak. Probably. Almost certainly. We'll break the streak tomorrow. But yeah. It's time to it's time to do more dev. Because why not, right? So I did a little bit of research gameplay in Day of the Tentacle just to look at some character animations, and I decided to extract some frames, and then I basically looked at Hoagie's walk cycle. I figured Hoagie was the one with his hands in his pockets like the character I've drawn. I am not decided yet if I want my character to keep their hands in their pockets when they walk or not. I think it looks cool when they're just like standing there, but maybe when they walk, I want them to pull their hands out of their pocket and like, you know, move their arms. It's a little bit more interesting to look at when the character actually like walks with like their arms moving around and stuff. But character has got its hand in its pockets because it looks like Hoagie, and Hoagie is supposed to look like that. So I don't know. Anyway, that's where I'm at the moment. I haven't really done anything with it yet. I have done a ton of like little touch-ups to the sprite, and there's some like, I've done a fair bit of like little bits and pieces on it. It's still not done yet. but it's kind of a lot nicer looking now than it was, you know, a little while ago. So it's slowly coming together. One of the things I need to keep in mind is that when it goes into the game, if I'm going to use scaling, which I think I'm going to have to, based on the background sizes I've drawn and the size of the character on the screen. Hello there, Mr. Pee Poo Poo Pee Poo Poo. Welcome in. How are you today? Good to see you, Master Gregor. What was I saying? Yeah. Anyway, I guess I shouldn't spend too much time on updates, but yeah, I do have to bear in mind when I'm working on the pixel art and trying to get like exactly perfect. It's not going to look exactly perfect most of the time while it's on the scene. And I noticed, I've noticed some other things. I'll talk about that. I'll talk about that in a minute. But right now, it's time to do the begin the stream thing, the traditional beginning the stream thing, which is review the channel status and what's going on in the channel. That's what we do. So let's take a look. Hey, it's Bloody Cactus. Good to see ya. Thank you for the good luck. Hopefully your trundle bed is safe and comfortable tonight. I hope you're doing well today, Bloody Cactus. Deving Fracked Mike, that's me. Good morning, Master Gregor. You're going to work in 20 minutes, so you'll only be here for a short time. No worries, no worries. It's great to see you. Like I said, just felt like keeping the streak alive. You know, we have a live streak. Might as well keep it going as long as I can. I'm like pretty sure I won't stream tomorrow. Although maybe, what if I just did like a 1 hour stream? Like I just squeezed in like, you know, 60 minutes of streaming tomorrow. I don't know. I could. I'm not saying I will. It's plausible though. Depending how my workday goes tomorrow, Fridays are often like one of my busier days because I'm like trying to consolidate everything and get prepared for the next week and all that kind of stuff. So Fridays are usually pretty... Mondays and Fridays are like my busiest days. Yeah. Yeah, Master Gregor, you're right. It has been wonderful channel growth. I'm shocked. Very grateful for all the support. Honestly, yeah. Wow, I actually didn't realize we'd gotten up to I think yesterday when I looked it was over 200, but I don't think it wasn't this high. So we've gained a few more followers overnight as well, which is cool. I can put latest followers, show channel's latest followers and follow train. I'm not sure what follow train is, in a live updating feed. Does that go on my stream layout or does it go on over top of my stream? Stream avatars. Instagram feed? I don't have an Instagram feed to put in. I mean, I do technically have an Instagram feed, but I don't use it, so whatever. Quiz kit? No, I think we looked at those last time. I'm not sure what to do about that. This one actually does sound maybe interesting. Maybe we should look at that at some point when we're doing channel update. But yeah, channel update. Affiliate levels reached, which is amazing. Once again, I think it's this one. Analytics. Let me just do this. I know this looks horrible, but when I do that, I can see it. But then when I do that, I can't. Whatever. Analytics overview. That's the one we want to look at. Just take a quick look at the overview. So this is the last 30 days. Obviously, we had that huge raid from Mzizzy on Tuesday, which was a monster raid, and really messed with the viewer average a fair bit, honestly. We did also have raids on the Thursday the 4th as well, so yeah, we'll see how things go. Research, we don't need to really click that right now. Achievements, that's the stuff that we always like to, we always enjoy looking at achievements. New day, new stream. Okay, this all happened yesterday? So I think we already looked at these. Actually, that's not new. That's not new stuff, is it? We already looked at those yesterday. We did not unlock, somehow we didn't unlock the 100 viewers at the same time. Even though we definitely did have 100 viewers at the same time. If we go back to... Which day was that? Tuesday. Yeah, we had maximum viewers 296. And we maintained viewers for most of that. Like we dropped back down to like 160-ish, and that fell to about 120-ish over the course of the remaining hours. So I think we got the achievement, but we didn't unlock it yet. So maybe that one's reserved for maybe that one's reserved for when you do like non-raid viewers. Maybe it is somehow. Hey, it's Bob Jams. Good to see you. Master Mike, the Mike Cave, and Mike Mobile is waiting for you. Excellent. Thank you, Bot Jams. How were the did you eat the Flamin' Hot Cheetos, and how did you like them? So yeah, achievements though. I'm not sure why it's instantly like, hey, here's your next goal, path to partner. It's like, come on, that's pretty intimidating numbers that you have to reach. I guess the stream hours and the consecutive day, like the number of days per month, are not hugely intimidating for most people. I think maybe the 12 days a month might be a bit challenging, but like the average viewer count of 75 is, and this does not include, definitely does not include raid viewers. Yeah, excluded raids, front page, promotions, embeds, etc. So you absolutely have to nail your viewership from organic like viewer growth, I think. But that's a really challenging thing to target, I think, for most people. That's like, to be honest, the path to affiliate's normally pretty difficult to hit as well. But obviously I was very fortunate to already have a channel that I could, you know, benefit from that as well. So yeah, and then we've got the builder community, 50 out of 100. I don't know, this has already happened. I think we already got this yesterday as well. So yeah, there's nothing new here, actually. Nothing new. All right, that's it then. I don't think there's anything else to look at. I got content. I went into the video producer today and created all the highlights that we needed to create. And also, I renamed the... You can... Oh, day 2's gone now, I think. Yeah, day 2 was expiring when I did this. But day 2 I renamed because it was originally like, let's continue brackets day 2. So I changed its title. So highlight day 2, let's continue engine research, because that's what we actually did. And then I changed day 3's one to implementation begins, because I couldn't... The title, I don't remember what the title was. It was something else on day 3. Oh, it's right here. Day 3, a game about making a sandwich. So yeah, I just didn't have a description of what day 3 was going to be about. I've changed that to implementation begin. And then it's sort of like, I think they're all relatively well named, except for maybe these ones where it says concepts and asset production continued. Like there's quite a few of those. Maybe I should go back and like think about renaming them. I've tried to be a little bit more descriptive with the later ones. Like, so today it's character animation focus is the primary thing, and we're going to continue asset production. Hey, not being you, good to see you. Doing good, that's great to hear, Bot Jams. You didn't eat them, they're a 10-inch Funko Pop protector. They're in a 10-inch Funko Pop protector, as I cough a lot now when I eat them. Oh yeah. Yeah, they're pretty spicy. Alright, so anyway, that's where we're at. Fortunately, I have all these videos archived except for day 1. I wish I didn't lose day 1. I'm gonna like, I guess I might be able to troll through this and make like a little video about the production of the game once I finished. But that's it. So what we didn't get to do at the end of the stream last time, because I had to rush off, I kind of left it a little bit too late. I didn't give myself time to, you know, mark the things off and set the next ones. Don't eat Funko Pops. That's probably a good idea, Master Gregor. Probably a good idea. So main character, finish, right-facing art. We did all of this day 9 stuff. And I created a use grab animation. I think I just, like... All the day 9 stuff was done, but what we actually spent the time on day 9 doing, we implemented some stuff. So, like, I guess I should make that clear too. Implement... grabbing animation and sprite directions for main character. I also implemented a new function called implement global called player interact, which flexibly I don't know how to spell the word flexibly. Flexibly. Yeah, it doesn't have, I don't know why I put an A in there. It doesn't have an A no matter when. Anyway, whatever. Flexibly allows user to interact with stuff using the grab animation. Should in most cases be the default way to interact with the world / items, hotspots, etc. World / objects. Maybe I should say objects. Spots, etc. So anyway, what we want to focus on today is these animations. I need to get a walking animation done. I want to have a walking animation like loosely done so that we can actually have the character walk across the screen when we click somewhere. Because right now, stretch. Everybody stretch. Because I just randomly have to stretch. So everybody else has to stretch with me. Yeah, good stretch. Alright, I just want to see the character moving around. And the sooner we have the character moving around and animating the movement, the sooner we can like start looking at, okay, what do we actually need to do to polish this? So like walking right direction animation, I can do that, flip it, edit it a little bit to change the costume to match correctly, and then we just do the walking down screen, walking up screen, and then that's all the animations we need. Good man, Master Gregor, get that stretch in. Yeah, and then obviously we want to do this, and that. Now I did do something else offline. I need to check these off because we did those. Something else that I did offline was just I exported all of the dialogue files. Sorry, all of the dialogue strings. I exported them all and I brought them in here in my dialogue. Remember we had the dialogue part of the spreadsheet earlier? Well, I populated it. So I've created like, okay, what's the character name? What group of like, you know, dialogue is this for? And what is the line that needs to be recorded? I've got notes for if I want to like have notes on like how it should be delivered or something like that, and how many takes it get recorded, and the file name prefix for each of those lines. So if I was to do a take, like 2 takes of looks alright, I'd have notes on like, I want it to sound like, you know, this or whatever, and then the takes would be how many takes were recorded. Let's say there was 2. So the final file name, gosh, I can't word. The final file name for this would be copy. How do you copy only what you can see? Like copy the. Surely there's like a copy contents. Can't see it. Anyway, the file name would be whatever that says, right? So I don't want it to be edit copy contents. If I do copy and then, well, if I paste it somewhere else, does it paste the string? Yeah, so it'd be like
it would have been pretty cool to drug the cat.
Take 1, right? That would just be just an underscore and then a 1.mp3. So that would be the first take, and if I had 2 takes, there'd be 1 and 2. So I know, like, for that line, I know what they're going to say, because in my spreadsheet, what the line recorded was for that file prefix. Basically, that's like the ID that would use for that. Do I know the game Undertale? Yeah, I've heard of Undertale. I haven't played it. I've seen bits and pieces about it. The complete dialogue is an endless switch statement for everything. Yeah, a switch case for everything. I know, I've heard about that, and I think it doesn't really matter. If that's the way they implemented it and they can handle it, that implementation, that's great. Good for them. You know what? That's what I think. That's why I genuinely think that. I genuinely think somebody made a game called Undertale that probably made them a lot of money. Like a lot more than I earn in a year. And I don't know how long they worked on the game for, but say they worked on the game for, let's say they worked on the game for 4 years. I bet you they made more than 4 years worth of salary from it. A lot of people know that game. It probably sold very well. They probably did very well out of it, I would imagine. So who cares if they wrote a giant switch statement, you know? Like, yeah, oh, it's ugly code, it's bad, it's like bad practice, or it's hard to... What? Who cares? Hard to maintain? So what? I don't care. They made a lot of money out of it, why not, right? That's what I reckon. Like, I get it, I do get it. It's like, yeah, it's weird, and most people wouldn't do it that way, but they chose to do it that way, they maintained it that way, they got the game done, and they made a lot of money. Good for them. How much did the Undertale make? How much did Undertale make? How much did Undertale make? I can't spell Undertale. 26.7 million. Based on some information that I don't know. On Steam sales alone, they made... And there's merch as well, right? There's merch that's in stores, right? You can go into like a Kmart and buy a Undertale like pin or something. Like I'm sure there's merch for this game. It's so popular. Like you can walk into a local retailer and buy something off the shelf. So there's merch deals involved. They're probably sitting on like double or triple this. Honestly, they probably made a lot of money. So Switch statement, that's like really big. Good. Excellent. I think that's fantastic. If that's how they did it and they made money, great. Do Kmart still exist outside of the US? They exist here. I think it's a different company though. Kmart here is a different Kmart than what the company in the US was. It's just a same name. But yeah. It's a funny approach, but not a bad one. In my opinion, it might even be better than some other implementation like text files with only separator like colon or semicolon. Yeah. Yeah, there's tons and tons of ways you could do it. But like, you know, good for them. I don't know how long, like, I actually don't know anything about Toby Fox. But I assume that Toby Fox spent at maybe a year, maybe 3 months on this game. Possible, because I don't think it's that complicated. I don't think the game is that complex, but maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe they spent like 6 years on it, but still, it doesn't matter how much. If they spent a decade on it, 2 decades, this is still a really huge payoff just looking at Steam sales alone. So who cares if they did a Switch statement that's ugly? Good that they did that. You know, 2.7 years, so $1 million a year. At least $1 million a year, based on this figure. No, I don't mind a little bit of derailment, Master Rigger. I enjoy it. I'm having fun. Yeah, good for them. Like, that's what I reckon. I genuinely think good for them. Like, I've never looked at the source code for the Undertale. I've never looked at it, but I don't, like... A 1,000 line long case Switch. Show part of the Switch statement at some point. So it's not open source then. Or is it? Toby Fox? Unavailable takedown due to DMCA. What? I don't understand what's going on here. Again, I don't really know anything about it. It was also funded through Kickstarter. Like, Undertale to me doesn't seem like that complicated of a game. I've never played it, so I could be way wrong. I'm very willing to be wrong on that, actually. It could be a really complex game with a lot of like nuance to it. But looking at what I've seen, like, I've never really sat down to watch a documentary or watch somebody play it or anything like that. I've only ever heard about it in peripheral. It's an RPG. It started as an RPG Maker game, and then they had to re-implement using their own engine because they wanted custom features. I can understand people not enjoying it, but as a creative, it's creative as F. Okay, and very well made. Yeah, great. I mean, see, that's what I'm saying though. Like, exactly. That's my point. I don't know this person. I don't know what they made. But obviously, they did really well as a business, as a financial endeavor, and as a creative endeavor, I know it must be great because I constantly hear people talking about it. I've been told to play it numerous times. I get it. But every time I look at it, I'm just like, well, it seems like most of the work went into the creative side of it, the design side of it. I don't know that the engine implementation really mattered too much. Maybe I'm wrong there, but it didn't look that complex. And I know it has like a lot of, I know it has like some, like, you know, you can try and be like friendly and not actually fight anybody, or you can actually just fight everybody. And like, even if they're trying to be friendly, like there's some stuff going on there. I don't really know. I've never played it. I just heard it described a few times. He's also a professional musician who did the music for it. Yeah, so the music is like, the music's a big thing for that game as well. If I remember correctly, it's a pretty big deal. Speaking of music, my music's too quiet with these tracks. But yeah, Undertale, like, what I'm making is not an endeavor like Undertale. It's a very simple, very small sample project that I'm basically just going to put out there and then move on to the next thing. But I may reuse assets that I create from this to make a bigger, more interesting game. Depending on the reception of this, I may take it further, right? Like do something more interesting, not just making a sandwich. Maybe doing some kind of adventure. So, you know, there's that too, right? But like I'm just trying to, I'm not taking this to Kickstarter. I'm not trying to make something. I don't have a grand vision here. Like I literally, like unfortunately day one kind of didn't get recorded, but I'm pretty sure I just kind of randomly went like, oh, it's going to be about making a sandwich. I'm pretty sure I just like, I need a topic, so that'll do. It's not that. I could have made something more interesting, right? Hey, yeah, good to see you. And Draforan as well. And Final Girl, I should have said hello already. I apologize, I did not say hello properly. Yeah. And Noru's here too. Good to see you, Noru. Same with other games like Crosscode from the German developer Luxen. I'm not sure how to say this name. Luxen? Anyway, who later made it standalone with his own studio, right? Right, so it started life as a game inside of somebody else's engine, and they moved it to their own engine. So, like, that's a possibility for this. Like, if I enjoy making this game enough, and like the next thing I want to do is like a DOS engine game, I might just implement an engine that's capable of playing the game that I've already designed and port my game to DOS. Right? And it would be a good fit because it's already graphically, it's already prepared, basically. It will already be in the right state for that. So porting it to DOS wouldn't be too much of a burden in terms of like the design and scope of things. So that's a thing as well. Anyway, I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. I lost my train of thought. But yeah, Undertale's great, and good on them for doing a giant Switch statement. Like, who cares? That's fantastic. Once you've made a perfect engine and also made $28 million, then you can point and laugh at the Undertale's code. That's what I'm saying. I guess that's ultimately what I'm saying. Like, great. I can't complain about it, and I won't. And I might do something similarly abhorrent to certain people in code that I write, and I don't care, because if I do it and it works and I make money and I can, like, you know, change my career to full-time game dev, then great. I would love to be in that position. I would love to have people ridiculing my 1,000-line Switch statement. Anyway. Coming back to this document, yeah, I did extract all of the lines of dialogue that are in the game. This was just a test, essentially. There was one here that I had, like, I don't want %s sausages, which is like inserting the name of the inventory item into that string. So it would say, like, I don't want butter sausages if you try and use the butter on the sausages. But obviously recording dialogue for that would be a huge amount of variation. So I'd need to go through looking at the list of inventory items and just get those names recorded as well. And obviously I'm not going to be recording the dialogue for the game anymore. I originally planned to do all the voice acting myself and just get it done. But now that I've implemented a young teen / preteen girl is the protagonist of the game. I don't know exactly what age she's supposed to be. Let's just say she's somewhere between the ages of 9 and 17, I guess. It's like something like that. Like about the age of the Maniac Mansion characters, maybe. Who are referred to as kids in that game. So I probably wouldn't be referring to 21-year-olds as kids. So yeah. Want me to record the narrator? Maybe, Master Gregor, maybe. You're gonna love my serialization code. Awesome. I mean, look, serialization code is some of the most fun code to write. Hey, it's Skinny One. Good to see you. Welcome, welcome. You're here to watch me do some stuff and pretend I understand any of it. Well, today it's just animation, so if you know anything about animation, you probably know more than me. That might not be true, but you'll probably know a lot about. I mean, I think most people can understand animation. That's what I'm going to be focusing on today. I was just talking about the dialogue stuff that I need to get done. Anyway, the point is, I've got these names of files that I'm going to be using. They're over here. So, as it stands currently, there's 156 lines of dialogue, and I think there's something like 20 inventory items in the game. Maybe less. Hey, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. I do have, is that 2 follows? What the heck? I got a shout out as well from Tawajia. Just now. There's something going on over there. I don't know what's going on over there, but thank you for all of the follows from Tawajia's channel. I assume that's why we're getting all these follows. But thank you for the follows. And the shout out too, even though you probably... I assume that they can't hear me, but thank you anyway. You gotta go to work, Master Gregor. No worries, mate. See you soon. Take care. Thank you very much for being here. It was good chat. Good chat. Thanks for the prompt. It was a good chat prompt. So anyway, 156 lines of dialogue and some number of something else. Where's my folder gone for the game? Why do I have that many folders open right now? That's a lot of folders. I guess they all make kind of sense, except for that one. I seem to have closed the folder that I needed. All right, let's just go ahead and open it again. It's in here. Oh, right. I did do one other thing. So the dialogue thing, yep, I did that. I did a little bit of work on the sprites, which we'll take a look at soon. But I also did do a backup. This is the first backup I've done of the game since I started. I created a samich.zip and uploaded it to a Google Drive. So, backup achieved. Actually, the AGS engine prompted me to do a backup. I was like, yeah, it's probably a good idea. So, I did that. Here it is. There's the game. What was I gonna do? Oh, I just wanted to quickly check how many items there are in the game. Again, thank you for the follows from Tawajia's channel. Might as well do a reverse shout out. We'll shout out Tawajia as well. Shout out Tawajia. There you go. Reversed the shout out. Done. So, looking at this scene, we want to switch to this one? Why does my Stream Deck no longer do the thing? I may need to change the code in the Stream Deck, I think. Anyway, across here on this side of the screen, you can see inventory items. We have 20 inventory items. One of those is sausages. One of those is sausages drugged, so we can exclude those. Bacon sandwich. We should no longer have sausages in our inventory if we've got a bacon sandwich, so that won't be an option. Catnip is definitely an option, but it won't be going through that dialogue path. Fried bread could. Bacon cooked could. Hose could not. Yeah, so I'll have to go through these and like work out which ones I actually need to record the variations for. And I can either just record a full variation, or I can just record the partial and just stitch it together in the game engine. OMG, the dedication to streams. You like that other guy, Fractal Mind Mike? Fractal Mind's Michael? He streams heaps of times per week as well. Yeah, I almost didn't stream today, G-Funk. Good to see you. And then I thought, I'll be on a 10-day streak if I start today. If I do a stream today, it'll be a 10-day streak. And my kid had to go to Taekwondo, so my wife's taking my kid to Taekwondo. And the girls are just, the other two are just like hanging out. So why not, you know? Get in there and do it. 10-day streak. So yeah, I just figured I'd do it. All right, so we have the engine open. I don't know if we'll be doing much with the engine. Like I said, I wanted to do a little bit of research with Day of the Tentacle. One thing that I think I would like to note about actual Day of the Tentacle backgrounds, now that I actually loaded it up, there is a much higher level of contrast and saturation in the background images than what I have gone with. So I'm probably just going to use some like tools. I'll put all of the images in one place, in one file, like one big canvas, and I'll fiddle with them and like just do like HSV sliders kind of thing and see if I can get it to like look a little bit more sharp and vibrant and sort of matching the style of Day of the Tentacle. But yeah, you can see like the size of Hoagie here. If he walks way up into the background, his size doesn't change at all. And he looks like a giant next to the house, right? Like, he obviously is way bigger than this doorway. But the game, it just doesn't really matter, right? The problem... Okay, so this is... I'll start talking about the problem that I encountered, that I realized. I was thinking in my head that my characters are going to scale through the room, so they'll be large when they're close up, and they'll be small when they're further away. You know, or if I do put my hand, yeah, you see how my hand gets larger when it gets close to the camera and such. Anyway, so there's that. And this game doesn't really bother with that. I don't know if there's any rooms that it bothers doing that with. I think it's always just like the same size. And the sprite always looks clean and sharp, right? Which is cool. I didn't really do that research. I probably should have done that research before I drew my sprite. But when I drew my sprite, I think I saved. All right, yeah, that's gonna be all right then. Open Delphine 1. I was thinking, well, my sprite is gonna need to be much bigger than the Day of the Tentacle sprites because they don't have like the detail to get close up to the screen, right? They don't really carry that level of detail. Hoagie's just burping in the background. Don't worry about it. But yeah, you can see like Bernard is only like you'd have to add, like nearly double the size, like probably more than 1.5 times the height, right? Laverne, I think, is the tallest of all characters, and Laverne is probably, yeah. So like, I'd have to add like another 50% to the height of these characters to match this height. I don't know what I'm gonna do about it. Probably nothing. It's just a lesson learned. If I wanted to do it, if I wanted to spend the time, I could go in again and redraw the sprite at this scale. But it's like, it's such a close scale, and the game engine already has scaling in it. I might as well just stick with it. I just know that when I walk around the kitchen, my character's gonna like change its look a lot, which is something I think I'll avoid in the future. This is already squished a little bit, and you can kind of see it looks a little bit jankier, I guess, than what it does in the in the artwork we were looking at. But like as you move around, like she's gonna squash down. So I didn't want her to look like a giant next to the fridge. You know what I mean? I didn't really want her to look like a giant back there, but Day of the Tentacle just didn't care. But also their sprites weren't as large as this. So if my sprite was actually Day of the Tentacle height, it would probably work really well, actually. So it's a lesson learned. That's a lesson learned. If I do another adventure game in this style again, I will probably try and like follow some of those ideas and principles. Another thing about this is I'm not sure like my background sizes, how close they are to Day of the Tentacle backgrounds. I'm actually not sure how many pixels are in a Day of the Tentacle background. I'm not going to fiddle with it right now. But yeah. Boo scaling, yay isometric. Yeah. So anyway, that's where I'm at. I'm going to close this now, I think. I don't think I really need to keep this open at the moment. Yeah, I can always reopen if I need to. I'm going to close that too and flip back over here. So I'll show you what I was doing before I decided to go online. I was actually going through and like getting the animations out of this set of frames that I captured. So I could like see Hoagie's walk cycle, for example. So this is Hoagie's walk cycle. And when they're all stacked on top of each other like that, it's very clear to see, like, okay, they've got the cool, like, sine wave style motion for walking. Also, his position is, like, slightly off in each of the frames, because the characters sort of slide around a fair bit in there. But if I was trying to put them all on the same baseline, I could. So, why Hoagie? Well, Hoagie is the closest character design, I think, to my character, in that, for the walk cycle specifically, his hands stay in his pockets while he walks around. And I think I want my character to do that too. Let me just do that. Yeah, so I want the feet to be about the same too. I'm just going to try and like arrange this in a way that I can... use it as a bit of inspiration for a walk cycle animation. I didn't necessarily get all the data when I was cleaning up the frames either, so, you know, there's that too. I think the foot alignment needs to be a little bit matched up as well. Okay, so that's Hoagie's walk cycle, roughly. So really, like, if I try and match up where the feet position are. A little hard to see. That's anyway, I'm just gonna undo all of that. I wish I could collectively move them around. I'll just change the canvas size. Another way to do it. Canvas, 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 image, canvas, size. There it is. 320, we'll just make it 420, obviously. And resize. What? Did I resize the canvas or not? Oh, it's like having issues because of the number of frames that are here. I don't know why. We'll just wait for it. We'll give GIMP a chance to crash or work. There you go, it worked. Sounds like the scaling squishing that they do to the Sam & Max in Mystery Place. Yeah, there's that. They do some squishing and stuff in that too. Doing that in this engine might be doable, actually. So I think when I was looking at it, it seemed to be like only really on the x-axis that it cared. So yeah, I think this engine is capable of it, but I'm not actually sure how it would work. Anyway, I have Hoagie's walk cycle to use as a little bit of an ideas man. So like just looking at it, like really obviously is like it seems to be about 2 frames for like the more static central part, and then it's a big stride which then goes back into like completing the stride, and then 2 frames again, and then a big stride. back to those 2 frames. So yeah. How many frames is this cycle? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? Is this a 7-frame cycle? Or is there an 8th frame that I might be missing? Because I feel like this frame here is missing for this leg. I could just obviously do that myself. I can also just change this to silhouette as well. If I just do like how would I do that? I guess I would do... Put a silhouette in here, maybe. Actually, one thing I wanted to double check is that make sure that these are actually pixel-sized pixels, which they do appear to be. Yeah. But yeah, I could just do here. I could turn it into a silhouette. Colors, brightness, contrast, no contrast would basically be a silhouette. Make it a bit darker. There you go. So got a silhouette for the walk cycle. That might be easier to use as like a guide, but then again, maybe not, because like you can't, it's a bit hard to tell like which feet you're thinking of. But if you look at the silhouettes, like this silhouette and this silhouette, they're like identical as far as I can tell. They're basically identical. It's like slightly different maybe. Like maybe there's a slight difference. I don't even know if there is. Maybe there's like a couple of pixels different down here, but so similar. Likewise with this one and this one, pretty much the same silhouette. This one and this one are pretty much the same silhouette. Slight differences again. But yeah, this helps you see the silhouette. To know like, okay, if I draw these 2 frames, drawing these 2 frames is going to be pretty easy. If I draw these 2 frames, drawing those 2 frames would be pretty easy too, even though there's a missing frame over there. But I could use this one, reuse it, put it over there, and then we have a full walk cycle in shadow. Don't forget to do the bob. Yeah, you can see the bob is very clear here. So for like a standard, like typically when you're animating a character, you want to have like the legs, the hips tend to follow a slight sine wave sort of thing. If I could do it, I would. Something like that. Something like that. But the head will often be more pronounced with that sine wave. In this case, I don't know if it is. It might be matching it, but yeah, often it's more pronounced. So as you put that foot down and go onto the forward step, you see that go down. Like the head would... I'm exaggerating that line, but yeah, it would go down a lot more. And then as you're like sort of putting weight onto that foot kind of thing, and then as you preparing for the next stride and taking the next, before you head into the next stride, you're kind of reaching a peak, and then you go back into that stride, you go down, transfer the weight. So something like that. Obviously, I didn't do a great job of trying to draw that or relate the information, but hopefully it wasn't too bad. The silhouettes aren't perfect. I don't know. They don't need to be perfect, but I also just kind of can't help myself. Just trying to correct it a little bit. Yeah, that's roughly right. So the frame that feels like it's missing is this one right here, but for the other foot. So because this is in silhouette, yeah, you can't really tell, right? So I could just... put it on the end. So there's not like... surprisingly, there's not a lot of secondary movement on like the peak of the hat. Or on the hair. The hair has some secondary movement. You can see like there's some bit of hair floating out here and poking out the back. Like there's a little bit of secondary motion, but not like. I think if it was a Sam and Max, you would probably see way more secondary motions on like the characters, like hat, brim, and maybe like the hair would like flick a little bit more, maybe. Especially because it's a main character, you kind of want that. You want it to like have a little bit more life to the animation. But yeah, in terms of walk cycle, like I could just try and replicate this with my character. So now I have that, I can bring in my character. Oh, right, that's one of the things. I did a bunch of tidying up on this. I'm still not 100% happy with it, but I am fairly happy with it. So the profile shot that I put in, this is new since last stream. And the 3/4 view is I've tidied up a lot. I also borrowed from Hoagie's design. If you look at Hoagie's design, you see that his lip actually has like a slightly different color, which is unique to him. You don't see that on Bernard or on Laverne. It's unique to him. And I think it might actually help the character out a little bit to have that color. So I added it, and I thought, yeah, that does kind of help a little bit to have that extra little bit of color there. Just another tone to help sell this character a little bit more, especially in the profile view, where the profile view, we're going to see, every time this character walks around, we're going to see this. I'm obviously going to try and have the hair move a little bit. If we looked at that Bernard walk cycle, which I've lost, I didn't keep that open, unfortunately. You can see the hair on the back of his head bobs a fair bit. There's a lot of like motion to that as he's walking around. This music, Skinny One, is from One Must Fall. Yeah, so I created the left and right facing profile views of the character, and this is not actually something you'll probably see in the game. I might include it. It's possible I could include it. But I don't really ever want the player to see the character just standing like this. Whenever the player stops moving, I want it to be either this one, or this one, or this one if they're facing down. So if they're facing left, I want to show this, not this. If they're facing right, I want to show this, not this. If they're facing down, that's fine, and if they're facing up, that's fine. But I needed this frame just so I could wrap my head around the profile view of the character and try and get the shapes about right where I want them to be. And now that I've got that, I should be able to do the animation for the walk cycle based on this frame. So I kind of needed to do it, even though I'm probably not going to include it in the game. You remember One Must Fall? Played it, maybe played it at a friend's house. Oh, awesome. One Must Fall is a great game. It's very fun. If anybody has any soundtracks that are what are they called? Not open source. Royalty-free soundtracks that I could listen to while I'm streaming this, that would be great. I've kind of exhausted, like not exhausted, but I've used the one that I use for my main channel as well. It's just like a synth wave. It's a royalty-free synthwave from Stream Beats. Stream Beats. I don't know if it's still called Stream Beats. I know they went through a bit of a name change for some of their branding. I'm not sure if that was affected, but yeah. Royalty-free Snake game music. But yeah, we should be able to take this. We should be able to take this frame and bring it in here and start thinking about animation. Obviously, our scale is off from the original here. And also, I'm not convinced that I want the silhouette. The silhouette will help, but I can also just do things like adjusting the opacity, I think. So maybe I'll just... I'll paste this in as a new layer. Oh, you know what? I gotta undo all of that now. Paste that in. New layer. I'll leave that one as silhouette on the end because it's, you know, whatever. But I should be able to do something like, if I want to get that to stop being so visible, I can fade it down a bit. And yeah, I'll bring my character in. The other thing I want to do is scale that all up, so we'll do that too. Oops, that's the wrong one. I want this one. Oops, that was V, not C. Okay. Actually, I should probably scale this, like, beforehand. Let's just do, image... scale. Which is here. I don't know why I couldn't see that. Percent. Try 150, which is about my estimate for the height difference. I'm going to just say no interpolation, just so it keeps the pixels fairly crisp. Maybe I should have said interpolation. Maybe what I should do, scale it up 300% and then scale it down by half. So scale image, 300% larger, scale. Scale image with interpolation on, and scale it down to 50%. And then if I paste my character in, which is just a little taller than Hoagie, which would be expected because Lavern's a little bit taller than Hoagie. So. Main thing is really the foot positions and stuff like that. It's actually interesting to see how much larger Hoagie's feet are, and my character just doesn't follow that. That's one of the designs. Looking at all these characters, their feet are much larger. This, you don't really, I didn't really notice it this way, because her feet are like as long as their feet, but her feet are actually much shorter in reality, so that's something else I just learned. Anyway, new layer. Widebat audio on YouTube has a lot of royalty-free synthwave and such. I've used it sometimes. Right, do they have a download? Because I just want to download a package of MP3s and just include it in a local folder. I've tried I used to stream audio when I was on my other channel, but sometimes like the videos would get removed or changed, and so I'd lose it or whatever. Like, yeah. So I prefer to download them if I can. Anyway, just continuing to think about this animation. I might actually even offset my character a little bit from Hoagie, just so I can maybe I kind of like slot my character sort of roughly in between them, so I can see Hoagie's leg positions a little bit clearer. So one thing I think we need to do is actually squish down my character to fit this knee position and bring this foot back a little bit, and that knee forward a little bit. It also looks like maybe we want to rotate the torso a bit. Although, honestly, looking at the way the torso rotates here, it rotates toward camera on this side when this foot is the one lifted. And so this might be more away from camera, actually, on this side. So we're actually probably best suited at the moment for this frame anyway. Interesting. Yeah, so there's a fair bit we have to do here. First thing I'm going to do is probably just keep this frame. Oops. Keep this frame. Rename. As soon as I can find... I don't know how to rename. Freaking... Does F2 work? F2 might work. Yeah, F2 works. This is just like basic facing right. Okay, so we just got that saved. Now we have this one to work on. Might even lock this one. Can I lock it? Lock? Is that locking? I assume that's locking. I shouldn't be able to draw on it now, right? Whoops. Okay, I was able to draw on it. So I don't know what this link does. I want to lock the layer. I can't lock the layer. I'm just going to make it invisible. Anyway, whatever. AGS 3.6 scripting seems kind of suck compared to 361. Lots of callbacks have no relevant arguments included, so they're kind of useless. It didn't actually strike me that it'd work like this. Oh, what are you working on? You just messing around with some adventure game scripting now, being you? Interesting. Yeah, I don't love AGS's scripting language. I've been pretty annoyed by it a lot of the time, but that's just a natural part of development, is to be annoyed by the tools that you use. So I wasn't sure how much I was valid. How much my complaints were valid, I guess. Anyway, I need to work on this animation, so I'm going to try and do that. One of the things I think that might actually help is to have some source images of like just the head, just the torso, just the arm, and maybe just the legs in this position. So that I can kind of just like move things around, rotate things around, rough and ready kind of situation. I may even break it down into individual components, take it over to something like Inkscape, animate in Inkscape, export the frames, and then draw the pixel art again over top. So it'll have all of the blurry mess of like not really correct pixels, and we can go in and we can clean it up. And that could give me a quick way to get the animation that I want. Possibly. Just making a font test thing that you can actually load into my version of AGS. Wow. So just getting it to work with 3.6.0 compared to 3.6.1, there's so much stuff that's changing, huh? That's wild. So 3.6.1 is going to be a big change. It's going to improve the language. That's pretty cool. I'm just thinking out loud, by the way. This is not, none of this is like set in stone decision making. I'm just thinking out loud. But yeah, I think I like the idea of maybe trying to animate in another tool that's a bit more like better suited to this kind of stuff, animation sort of stuff. Even though Inkscape's not an animation tool, I can kind of make it work for me as one. So I think I'm gonna try it out. I'm saying briefly. It's gonna take us probably an hour to get there. Maybe not an hour. It's going to take us a little bit of time to get there, but let's just start. We got to start somewhere. I could just move things around in this tool and be annoyed by like the layer management. That's what I just think. That's why I decided that maybe going into another tool is better. Layer management here is going to be a pain. Whereas in Inkscape, images are just like individual things you can just move around. So why don't I do that? Let's break down my character here. So I guess I can probably actually just use this tool. To do selection. Let's see, this is diagonal neighbors is turned on, which is good. Should mean less total clicks to get things selected. It could be bad because it might actually select parts that I don't want selected, but we'll see. I think there might be a way to do like merge selection as well. Oh, that's a transparent pixel. Okay, I thought that wasn't selecting something that it should. Oh, the eyeball, obviously, that piece of skin there. And that's the head selected. So I just do that. Control C, Control Shift V to paste into a new thing, and we'll come back and we'll just keep doing stuff here. So I'm gonna just select this. We'll deal with the arm later, but for now we'll just select it. We'll remove it when we get to it. Guess we'll need that piece there. This is still pretty rough, honestly. Like the torso sort of is pretty rough right now. And I'm also just going to switch to this tool for selecting bits of the torso here. I kind of want to, like, I don't know where the legs really begin, but probably about where the belt is, I guess, is like, if I just say that's where the legs begin for animation purposes. Probably roughly right. And then I just want to, I'm going to want to change the arm later. So Control C, Control Shift V, and then we'll just zoom in and clean up, get rid of the arm. Actually, while we're here, we could just use this as an opportunity to get the arm. Turn off diagonal for a second here. That's about right. Something like that we'll probably do for the torso. I don't know. I don't know why there's not a pixel there. Feels like there should be. So that could be the torso, that could be the arm. It doesn't have to be perfect representation of the arm either. It just has to be near enough so I can, like, you know, approximate the animation. The legs next. I'm just gonna really roughly get the leg selection done. I don't really need to be that careful with this edge. Control C, Control Shift V. That's fine for a rough leg. We might even split that into 2 parts, 3 parts even, so we can rotate them individually. For the sake of the animation, I can probably just ignore the fact that these are different as well. Like the legs are different and just use the same leg twice. So let's just do this. Why is this pasting like this? I didn't scale this character. Why does it have feathering? Why does it have feathering? Control C. Control Shift V. What the heck, dude? Why does the leg, of all things, have feathering and nothing else does? Explain that. I can't find a way to check the current cursor mode easily under any click, and I don't really want to have to separate a separate function for every cursor interaction. Mouse.mode seems to be it. Oh, okay, good. I use the BASS style as well in my current game. It's a BASS style. Okay, so why is the leg doing what it's doing? Edit, copy visible, edit, paste as, new image. It's feathering it for no reason. Edit, Copy visible, edit, paste as, new layer. No feathering. Why is it doing this? Wait, it did do it with feathering. Oh, it's the selection tool that I used. I hate the selection tool. Okay. It's the selection tool's fault. Feather edges is turned off. Anti-aliasing, turn that off too. Now, Control C, Control Shift V. God damn it! Maybe I have to redo this whole selection. Because that selection was made with feathering in mind. Told you this would take a while. I didn't think it would be taking a while because of this, but I told you it would take a while. I hope it's mostly inclusive of pixels that it's over. That'll be good. No idea what's up with the geometry of that part of the leg, but anyway. I guess I did not include the belt in the torso, and I probably should have. Whatever. That'll do. Control C, Control Shift V. Finally, a non-feathered image. And I probably stressed over this too much as well. Anyway, like I was going to do, I'm going to break this down into some parts. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to include the rest of the knee pad. And I'm going to Control C, Control Shift V. That can be the upper leg. And then I'm going to select this. And then include the rest of the knee pad as well. So that we can move that around. And I'm actually going to exclude the foot. And Control C, Control Shift V, and then I'm going to just include the final piece. Okay, now I have all of these to be able to open up Inkscape. We should be able to try and do a little bit of animation in there. Father X Keepo, great to see you. Whose dance emote is this? It's Tom's? Oh, it's a good Tom emote. I couldn't actually tell that was Tom until I hovered over it and saw the zoomed in version. I was like, immediately, I'm like, oh, that looks like Tom. Alright, so Control A, Control C. First thing, paste in this. Get that silhouette done. And then Control C, Control V. Too many things open. Control C, Control V. Oops, oops. I don't want to have trace bitmap selected the entire time. Let's get rid of that. Alright, we'll see. I probably should have made the arm separate elements too, but it's too late now. I just want to move on. I just want to get roughly animation happening. And I definitely should have included more of the body. I'll go back and redo the torso bit. Lower leg. Good. Let's go redo the torso real quick. From here. just gonna do a quick, like, select this part. And image, scale, canvas size, make it a little taller. Maybe, like, double the height. Paste. What? I've accidentally copied from, the wrong layer there. The belt goes there. Right. Yeah, we need to put it in, and then that, and then that, and then get rid of all this, get rid of all that. Something like that. And then we'll even get rid of this. And for the sake of just putting it there, we'll do that. And then we will trim to content. Image, crop to content. Control C. Control V. Okay, we'll delete the other torso. Alright. We have all these bits. Hopefully we can make them work for us. So we'll just do this. Let's just make that have a lower opacity. Okay. Just gonna build like a ragdoll kind of thing out of this. We gotta turn off snapping because that's gonna get really annoying. This one we bring to front. There's the foot. There's the leg. Lower part. We'll send the foot to back. Alright. That should be everything. Obviously we need another leg, so we're going to do that. And we're going to tint these. Which I don't know if you can do a tint with this, but we should be able to do a tint. Can I do fill and then make it like change color? I don't think I can. Fine. We can do blend modes and change the blend mode. Filters, color, darken, brightness. Grayscale, invert, lighting, lightness, contrast, live preview. Lightness 0, contrast 0. The purpose of this is probably actually good. Lowering both the contrast and the brightness of them. Okay. Don't know how long this will take to apply. Yes, our protagonist has met a grizzly fate. We've chopped her up. Did we apply it? Is it now applied? I guess it's now applied. Okay. So now we have like a darker leg and a lighter leg, so which we can use to our advantage. I'm gonna just group the leg and send it to the back. and then lift it by 1, because we've got this thing in the background. But yeah, now that should tuck in nicely here. And I just need to select these 3 bits and group them. And I guess I'm going to group the head and the torso as well. Okay, you should be at the top. Okay. Where are we at? How well aligned is the head? Actually, is there a way I can say, no... Is there a way I can say... in Inkscape? Inkscape... nearest... neighbor... in that rendering... How do I set... I want that setting, but it didn't tell me how to do the setting. Is it under options? Anybody know? Does anybody have an answer for me on this? Edit preferences? Oh, imported images right here. Is it here? Blocky optimized speed. I don't think that's doing anything. Maybe I need to scale everything up for that effect to take effect. What the heck? I don't think that had any impact at all. Alright, I don't care. Alright, I just want to get this thing, I just want to get some animations, attempt to do some animations here, so... let's see, can I... lock this? Okay. First thing first. Go change the pivot point to the heel. Change the pivot point to the knee. Somewhere about there, I guess. Once again, I just don't think this isn't quite right. This also is probably not in the right spot, but I can't exactly select it the way I need to. Rotation point must be up there probably somewhere. Yeah, I literally can't see where this needs to be. Probably somewhere about there. Alright. And the head, we'll probably want to bob the head down a little bit too. Actually, I don't even know where the head should be, so it might already be bobbed a little bit. I think the head wants to be about there. Say that's bobbed a little bit. Cool. Duplicate, move it over to here. And we want to follow through a little bit here, so... Wait, has it ungrouped everything? No, it hasn't. Oh, but somehow that's happened. There we go. Okay. I don't know if I'm doing this the right way, I'll be honest, I'm not sure. Yeah, I wasn't very close with my knee attachment point at all when I estimated that before. Somewhere about there, probably. Alright. We just keep doing this until we get all animated, and then we have to take it back in and pixel over it again. Which we might just be doing the pixeling over by moving assets around and stuff, but we'll see. Yeah, and it is easy to overdo it on the animation too, so I don't know, I guess we'll find out. It's the big stride. I feel like I might have actually done a little bit wrong there, because I've changed the head height a fair bit. No, it's fine, we'll see what happens. Just do both of these at once. I don't know if we're going to move the arm around it that much. Might have been able to leave it as part of the torso. But we'll see. All right. Let's keep animating. I use the term loosely because I really don't feel like this. I feel like this is not going to pay off. I did say we'll experiment with this. I don't know if this is going to pay off. We'll see. I'm going to actually move the head a little bit here. Have a little bit of a bob at the bottom. It might be a bit too much if I actually were to animate that, but we'll find out. Oh no. I hate it when this happens. This is one of the problems with Inkscape. You have to like make sure you've definitely not selected stuff from the same subgroup before you do your duplication. I don't know if the group stuff is like shown somewhere on screen, but it would be nice if it was. Alright. Once again, get that head there, maybe. Then like this. Okay. So this leg is supposed to be firmly on the ground at this point. Let's focus on that first. Oh, your pivot point's still way up there. Okay. I was looking for the pivot point down here and I couldn't see it. I was like, where's the pivot point gone? About there. So, I'm also noticing torso position wise, centered, not centered, centered, centered. So I might want to go back and fix this one up a little bit too. Hey Pi, good to see you. You fell so bad at Inkscape. When I see how Mike uses it. Oh, you feel so bad? Is that what you mean? I just use it weird. I actually use it wrong. But I do use it enough that I know like a lot of the stuff that it has in it. But like, yeah, that just comes with the experience. I think like as you do more than just drawing circles, like those things will come to you. Yeah. I feel like this frame's not great, but maybe I can fix that up. Where's the pivot point? Oh, I didn't have the pivot point on screen yet. Probably a little bit better, although I'm still not convinced about this leg. This should be that, basically. But like flip the legs. Yeah, so we've got the poses, basically. We could like use this as like a silhouette for where our character should be. Or something. If I just made the legs the same color, it would basically it. I wonder if this is these will be scaled correctly to pixel scale. If I was to export this right now, export selection, higher export only the selected, 151 by 60. That sounds about right. PNG. Let's just put it in the right fold. E drive, users, Mike, documents, Samich, room assets, characters, the guy. Go here, new folder, cast anim. Walk one. Okay. Hold on a second. Who's there? Hi. I'll come out. I'll be right back. Just a minute. Hello. What the heck? When did this Dr. CDCS raid come in? What? my daughter needed some help. Thank you for the follows. Welcome, Mr. Eridan. Good to see ya. Thank you for the follows. Oh, hi everyone. My name's Mike. I'm making a game. It's about making a sandwich. I'm trying to get animations done today. I'm trying to focus on animations, get them mostly done. I'm using all the tricks in my tool bag to try and make it easy for myself because it's tricky. So we're trying to do it. Hours ago, Doc, I'm so sorry. Thank you very much for the raid. Everybody, if you're hanging out with me, you haven't seen Dr. CDCS's channel somehow, which honestly, I don't know how you miss it. It's a great channel. I spend a lot of time there. It's a great fun place to hang out. Go drop a follow for Dr. CDCS. I know we just got a shout out, so thank you for that. Anything else I need to say about Doc? Doc's awesome, everybody. Go follow Doc. About myself, I don't know. Don't worry about me. Thank you for joining me on this game dev journey that I'm on. I'm on day 10. It's a streak of 10 days. Actually, a 10-day streak. We made it to 10-day streak so far. I've streamed every single day since I created this channel, which is a shock and a surprise to me. A shock and a surprise. I'm very happy with the progress we've been making on the game though. So we're heading into the last stretch here with like, oh, I actually have to like just finish this. So hopefully I can just finish this. It's basically down to animations, and I'm going to redo the script, like all the dialogue stuff. I'm just going to go through and refine that. I'm going to add a whole bunch of jokes, gags, and references that I can, without, you know, too much added extra content, stuff like that. So yeah, it should be fun. It should be fun, like closing out the rest of the game after I've got these animations done. It's just going to be like focusing on the fun bits. I'm trying not to jump in and do all the fun bits now. Really good to see you. Yeah, Doc who? Mr. Eridan, I hope you're doing well. Thanks for joining the raid. I'm just going to do a stretch. Everybody else should do a stretch right now too. If you're not stretching, then you're not doing it right. Get a nice stretch. Probably just for raid and running, but you got to head off. No, don't apologize. Thank you for the raid. I really do appreciate it, mate. Sorry I wasn't around when you raided. I had to go talk to my daughter. She needed some help with her computer thing, so... Anyway, Doc, have a good one. We'll see you soon. Thank you very much. I think, yeah. I'll show you. For those of you joining the raid, you probably actually want to see not just like me roughly animating in Inkscape. You probably want to see something interesting. Give me a second and we'll do that. We'll take a look at something interesting in just a minute. Blur. That's the right scene. Okay, good. Yeah. So this is. What I'm doing here. I've done a trick. I've done a dirty, rotten trick. I've exported a bunch of pieces of my character sprite, like this, into Inkscape, so that I can just trace over the Hoagie animation of walk cycle. This character is like, positionally wise, like her hands are in her pockets like Hoagie is in Day of the Tentacle. If you don't know who that is, then I guess I'll show you real quick. This is Hoagie right here. This is his walk cycle. I've exported the walk cycle manually and I've made it a silhouette. I put it in the background, and then I'm placing the pieces of my character over top of it and moving them around to copy that style, because I want her walk style to be influenced by the way Hoagie walks for reasons. So it's a cool cheating way to make a little bit of quick progress. The reason I've only done these 4 is because these 4 are the same, but just flipping which leg's in front. And so I can probably, if I can draw out these, I can probably just flip them with a little bit of moving some pixels around, changing some colors and stuff like that. So that's what I decided to do. Hey, Love and Thunder, good to see you. Yeah, I've been on for a little while. I'm just talking through the animation process that I'm using. It's a little bit of cheating, so you might be able to tell what's going on, Love and Thunder. But what I've done is just exported a bunch of pieces from my sprite, my character sprite. I broke it down into pieces so that I can do this animation cycle over top of Hoagie's walk cycle. And now that I've done that, I've exported it to an image, which if I wanted to take a look at, which I do, will be in here. It's going to look ugly. It's not going to look like very good pixely wise, but I can see that this might work as a walk cycle. I might even be able to import, if I finish this walk cycle off and then import it into the game, it might even look roughly okay, but it's very much not okay. Probably better to drop it into an image editor that I can see pixels with, actually. So let's do that. So I just want to see how bad the pixels look. Yeah, the pixels look terrible, but it's good. It should be good enough. I should be able to bring in, like, say, this asset and drop it in. Wow, it's actually out of scale, completely out of scale. Interesting. I'll have to adjust the output scale. Thank you for the follow. I do appreciate it. Welcome. But yeah, we should be able to get a walk cycle out of this, is what I'm saying. And then I can just continually enhance that until I feel like it's done, which is what I'm going for. But for those of you who came in with the raid from Dr. CDCS, I'll demo where we're at with the game in its current state. If you have any questions at all, please ask them. I would love to have some engagement and talk to you, because it would mean that I don't have to do the animation, which I've been kind of avoiding to this point. So this is the current state of the game. We have our character standing in the kitchen to start with. The game is very much influenced by the look and style of Day of the Tentacle, which is why I'm referencing Day of the Tentacle characters for animations and character design. Hey, Sakunakao, great to see you. Welcome. I noticed a Grunt Guru emote there too, who is a legendary streamer. I do enjoy Grunt's streams when I get the opportunity. Actually, fun fact, the first stream that I was like, I finally decided, like, I'm going to start subscribing to channels, because I was, like, still new to Twitch. The first channel that I subscribed to was Grunt's channel. I think I was only subscribed for a couple of months at first, because I was, like, not so sure about, like, how to handle my subscriptions. But nowadays I have too many subscriptions. So anyway, yeah, the first channel I subscribed to. So anyway, we've got a character animation of picking things up, but you can see we don't walk. That's what I'm working on at the moment, is making the character walk. So if I get the walk right animation, I can flip it and reuse it for the left animation and clean it up so that the pocket is on the right leg and stuff like that. But right now we just have facing forward, facing left, facing left, facing right, and facing backwards. I'm thinking about maybe adjusting it so that it doesn't scale so much, because, like, seeing it scale is not so great when you see it from the front. Like, the eyes change shape a lot. So yeah, we'll see. The art's come a long way since the placeholders on day 3 or whatever. Yeah, so day 3 was day 1 of implementation, actually. So we started implementing on day 3. Day 1 and 2 was, day 1 was, like, actually more talking about focusing on the channel and, like, thinking about, like, what maybe I want to make. Day 1 I did kind of decide, like, this is what I'm going to do, make an adventure game about making a sandwich. Day 2 was researching how to do the puzzle dependency graphs and choosing an engine and implementing those things. Actually, day 1, I think day 1 maybe I did puzzle the graph. Maybe I did version 1 of the graph on day 1. I'm not sure about that. I think it was day 2 that we did that. I'll have to go back and check the videos, but yeah. Day 3 was when I first put pen to canvas kind of thing on the game, actually making the game. So yeah. As for walking animation, is it me, or does it look like one leg position's missing? Like there's 3 legs, like there is 3 leg close frames and 1 leg 100% apart frame, but it seems to be missing a frame in between the 2, like half apart leg stance. Maybe, yeah. I'll work on it. Once we see it in motion, we'll know. I literally just was copying the leg positions from Hoagie. So they have like this one, then this one where they're kind of crossing, then a stride, and then this one, and then it goes back into this, but with the legs flipped around. So maybe you're right, but we'll see. I mean, like you can watch the Hoagie animation if where did I put the reference frames? Here. So here's the reference frames. You'll just have to excuse that it's not zoomed in, because they're at native resolution. But if I, That's what it looks like as he walks. It's actually not a ton of frames. Oops, that's the AVI file, which Windows doesn't know how to play. But yeah. I think that works okay. Like, he looks okay as he's walking. I don't think it looks too bad. And we're not going for like 24 frames per second. It's more like, I don't know, it's probably like 5 frames per second or something like that. It's really not that many frames per second. Like the walk cycle is literally like 6 frames, 8 frames, something like that. So, depending on the character, I think it's 6 to 8 frames walk cycles for the most part. Like this one's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 frame walk cycle. So we'll see how that goes. So I need to make the height much taller, which is currently set to 60, which is like too low. If I make this 99, does that fix it? That looks a bit more close to correct. Let's see. Yeah. Yes, that's correctly scaled now. Roughly correctly scaled. So I should be able to like just put the correct pixel art over the top of these and clean this up a fair bit. I basically will just have to draw over top of it, I think, but for like the head, I'll just move this head around kind of thing. Hey, it's Duke Donuts. I forwarded you something in Discord at BNU's request. Really, another one. Is there a reason that BNU can't talk to me directly? I don't mind if BNU wants to DM me on Discord, but maybe I should talk to BNU about that. Oh, he's not on Discord. I mean, I can give him my email address if that's what he wants. Like, I don't know, like, whatever. I can share a folder to him on BNU. I can share a folder to you on like Google Drive if you want. If you have like a way to do that, let me know. Hey Tao good to see you. I didn't realize I wasn't following. Stoked to watch progress. Thank you. Yeah, thank you for the follow earlier and the shout out earlier too. I didn't know if you could hear me, but I was saying thank you at the time. Thanks for the shout out. I saw you did a follow as well. I normally they're anonymous, which I did keep the follow anonymous, but I didn't keep the shout out anonymous. I did say, hey, I got a shout out. And I shouted you out in return. This is a new channel, so obviously, yeah, no stress about the following. New channel who dis kind of situation. But yeah, no, thank you very much. It's great to have you here. I hope you have some fun hanging out with us while we work on this crazy thing. So I guess for those of you who are actually here from the raid, I can go and do a little bit of a recap of like how we got here, where we are up to. I realized I could use WeTransfer to create generic file transfer links as well, but I wasn't sure if I could use it without an email. Oh, so there's like a whole email thing. So you blackmailed Duke into sending it. Well, thank you, BNU. Thank you for getting work, and thank you, Duke, for being so kind to help with the transfer of files. Fine sending stuff when I'm around. Yeah, well, that's very, very kind of you. I appreciate it. We were talking about game dev stuff, and someone mentioned your new channel. Oh, nice. That's awesome. What were you talking about for game dev purposes? Because maybe we could like talk about that, you know, on stream sometime. We could have a chat about game dev, depending on what's going on, Tawe. This year for the podcast, I actually am trying to focus on game dev more. So I'm actually thinking about exclusive update, exclusive news. You heard it here first. Bulletin. I've been thinking about maybe putting together some kind of like an online streaming dev con. I don't know how it would work, but like getting some panels of people together to talk about some stuff, share things, talk openly, and like having that be like a bit of like a community building, sharing and stuff like that. Get some people on who've done some game dev and like actually have specific topics to cover and things like that. I'm not the best planner, but I've been thinking about spending some time putting together some like proposals, getting some people on to do stuff like that. Basically like a little mini convention hosted fully virtually online kind of thing. Something I've been thinking about. I haven't really talked to anybody about it. This is the first time it's coming out of my mouth. It's been mostly in my head up until now. But that's something I've been thinking of. I've actually been thinking of that probably for about 6 to 8 months from now. Probably about that much time. Interested in one day trying it out, but lack of coding experience cause of my art and playtesting background in board games, and yes, so down. Awesome, great. Because like what we could do, potentially we could do some collaboration as well, right? If I get more time. At the moment, I'm going to focus on my own projects, but I'm open to collaboration and stuff like that, whatever that may entail. I also have another channel, by the way, for those of you coming in from raids. Again, thank you, Doc, for the raid. I know you're probably not here anymore, but I do have another channel, twitch.tv/FractalMindMike. That's where I do my main streams, although in the last 10 days, I've probably streamed more hours on this channel than I have on my main channel, because I missed last night. Unfortunately, I was out at a family thing, and ended up going a bit longer than I had time for, so there you go. All right. And also, like, I want to do, yeah, anyway, I could talk more about that other stuff, but I need to reach out to some people who I would like to help me with it, just to make sure that it gets done well, and not dependent on my frazzled organization skills. Noru said, huh, in the chat, which I think means, I'm going to take that as a huh of curiosity and interest. And I'm going to take that as a sign that people might be interested in the game dev thing, streaming game dev thing. And I think I would like it to be focused on like streaming as like a topic to cover, as well as game dev as a topic to cover. Probably slightly more focused on the game dev side of things, but also with some like strong emphasis on, hey, this is how streaming can help reach an audience. This is how you can build a channel. Things like that, I think, are things that would be interesting for anybody to be involved with. But then, like, the game dev stuff is, like, I think broadly interesting to people who stream as well, because a lot of us are streaming games. We're interested in games. We've often, I bet you I'm not the only person kind of thing who's thought about making a game, but didn't know where to begin or something like that. I mean, you know, so I can bring some of my experience to the table on, like, how to make games, but I can also bring other people on who have experience with, you know, the streaming side of it as well as the game dev side of it. We could definitely bring together a really amazing group of people. I know there are a lot of people who've mentioned oh, one day I wouldn't mind trying to make a game. So, something to think about anyway. Hey Rosie, good to see you, welcome. Very interested in watching that. Awesome, Tawe, awesome. I mean, when it comes to like digital art and creating assets and stuff like that, that's definitely a topic that you could cover. So like games is such a broad subject that like you could do a panel on like 50 different things and still not cover everything. Probably. I mean, I imagine. Feels like it. It's a very broad subject. Anyway, I want to bring everybody up to speed who is still hanging out and hasn't seen this before. Tell me if you've heard it all before and I can move on. But I figure it's probably a good opportunity now to just cover how we got to where we are. And I have it all very fortunately documented in a big old document right here. Day one, like I said earlier, I focus pretty much exclusively on what this channel is about. So goals for the channel. This is still the goals. Make games. Get more experience releasing games, which is why I'm trying to do a small game to start with. I just want like this little adventure game. Keeping a regular schedule, which honestly I've like destroyed this proposed schedule, but I'm not going to be able to maintain every single day game dev streaming. But for now, I'm quite happy to do it because, you know, I have the help of my wife with the kids at the moment. I don't have to go pick the kids up from school; they're off school, so I've been able to squeeze out a few extra hours of streaming here and there this last 10 days. Why am I doing this here and not on my main channel? Basically, I don't feel like I have to perform here the way I do on my main channel, which isn't to say that like my main channel is all a performance. It is just to say there is certain metrics that I feel are important to maintain on that channel, and I don't feel like game dev stuff maintains those statistics, at least with the current audience that I have on that channel. It is possible that this channel will outgrow that channel. I know there are some, you know, there's definitely room to grow in the game dev space on Twitch, so we'll see. But for now, I'm keeping it unaffiliated with, so it's I'm not monetizing this channel. It's just here to, it's mainly here for me to connect with people while I'm trying to do my project. That's what goal number one here is about. Since I started streaming, I've done a lot less game dev stuff, and I want to correct that, so that's why I started this channel. Hey Deacon, good to see you. It was nice to see you on McCaw's channel. It's always nice to hang out in McCaw's channel. I lurk there regularly, actually. And I engage a fair bit. Not all the time, but I do engage a fair bit. So then, what will happen on this channel? Programming, design and thinking, text, maybe concept images. Definitely concept images. I don't know why I said maybe. Art for games, definitely. We've been spending the last 3 or 4 sessions, I think, focused mostly on art. Possibly some live discussions. This is something that I already have my podcast, which is going to remain on my main channel, but it's possible that I'll encounter different side of Twitch's community in the development space here, and I may want to engage with people from that side of things, and it might make the most sense to do that here. But for the most part, probably people that I connect with like that, I'll connect with on my channel as well. So we'll see.
Palerzan cheered 100 bits.
Thank you.
You might not want to monetize that channel. So Fractal Mind.
Yes.
Mike.
Right.
Please share this with Fractal Mind. Dev.
Done. Thank you, Pi. Thank you very much for the 100 bits. That's very, very fun. Thank you so much. I appreciate the bits. You're very, very kind. So yeah, other games that I may work on. So I think at some point I was typing this document as I was talking. I think maybe somewhere around here I sort of came across the design, this objective, and then I put up here. I think I moved this up here later on. Other stuff that I might work on. Scorched Earth clone, maybe. Flappy Bird clone, maybe. These are all maybes, like Tetris, maybe resume my shmup, maybe make a new shmup. Match 3 clone, Pipe Mania, Raycast engine. This one I'm actually kind of excited about trying. Maybe I'll do another. I've done Raycast engines before, but it might be nice to do a slightly more advanced or more complete version of a Raycast engine than I have done in the past. I've definitely I've already done this. I've already done this. I have not done this. I have not done this, although I did kind of start doing it once. And I don't remember ever making a Scorched Earth clone, but I could do a Scorched Earth clone. Maybe I can make it multiplayer, or maybe make a web interface and have like a turn-based web shared web environment where you can all like play together. That would be pretty fun. It'll make playing Scorched Earth with friends across the globe a lot easier. So maybe that's something I could do. I kind of have excitement for probably these two at the moment. Anyway, we don't have to talk about that in too much detail. I got to start moving a bit faster actually through this because I don't want to spend too long talking about how we got here. But how did we get here is what I'm talking about. Real-time Scorched Earth, maybe that could be good. You bloody ripper the pie. Thank you very much. So yeah, this was the goal that I was like, I need to pick a game to start on. So like, okay, design a simple graphic adventure. What do we need for this to work? Characters, art, writing, and design. Locations, art, writing, and design. Although writing, I'm not so sure about locations, but maybe a little bit. Anyway, items, art and writing, problems. So this is like puzzles. Problems is puzzles, right? Not necessarily exclusively, but yeah. That's part of the writing and design side of things. Progression. I guess we have some progression in the game. So yeah, that's technically there. Story, we kind of have a story. Prototyping, picking an engine, pick tools to help with engine, create a simple room, interactions, dialogues, descriptions, character movements. This is all just me thinking about what I need, right? And then I was like, I want a bacon sandwich. That's what we're going to make. That's the name of the game. Or maybe not the name, but that's the placeholder title of the game. Actually, the current placeholder title is just sandwich with one M. So anyway, that was it. Then we did day one. Day one, was learning about puzzle dependency graph. Okay, this was a question I had. I was like, I have to check the VOD. No, I just checked my notes. I did learn about puzzle dependency graph. I did create a puzzle dependency graph, and I planned for the future. So really, this is out of order. We started with planning for the future, and then we did the other things. But whatever. Then day 2, researching game engines. Now, if you were interested in seeing how to pick a game engine, you could follow my strategy, and it technically will work for anybody. But you may want to refine it. That's fine too. But yeah, that's probably not a bad one to watch. It might be a little bit annoying to watch because like I spend a lot of time on this preamble just trying to choose an engine, and maybe the obvious choice was always obvious that I went with AGS because I'm making an adventure game. But I did want to. Part of me really wanted to make my own engine. So I'm glad I did this because it helped me make the right decision, I think. These are engines that I researched to some degree. Day 3, I set up a basic game. I did some stuff. I did all this stuff. You can see it here. Like basically we did a ton of stuff. I didn't create any item art, but I did create room art. I think I created art for most of the rooms through this process. Finished creating rooms and layouts. So we still hadn't gotten... When I did the art for the rooms, it was like MS Paint level art. I can show you some, actually. It's here. In room assets. So the kitchen was like the first room that I created. It looked like this. And eventually, like when we did finally start doing art, this is what I drew. And then I modified it a bit. You can see the floor pattern changes, but everything else is basically the same. I added more items and added some more shadows and stuff like that. So just clean things up a bit, put the frying pan in, things like that. Is that another 100 bits?
Taylorzan cheered 100 bits.
Thank you.
Here is money for the possible lawsuit.
Oh,
talking about
what?
drugging animals and especially cats.
Oh.
I can only imagine some organizations want to come after you.
Possibly.
Laughing face.
Laughing face. Thank you very much, Pi.
It would have been pretty cool to drug the cat.
For the help, yeah. With the eventual lawsuit. Hopefully we don't have a lawsuit. But yeah, that's the art creation process. Is like I started with very rough rooms. I in fact didn't even create all the rooms. I just had like placeholder, like something's gonna happen in this room. I'm not going to create the art for it right now. When you click on the door to get to that room, it just plays out all of the stuff like that should happen when you go in that room without actually having to go in there. So like, you know, you go to this room, you'll get the catnip or whatever. So you get the eggs from this room. So I shortcutted a bit of the work just so I could get the prototype really quickly put together. And then I just started building on top of that on day 4. We actually started doing day 4, I think, finished all of the implementation for the puzzle, finished all the background art in MS Paint style. I created all that placeholder item art, which is actually like higher quality than I did for the backgrounds for the most part. I wanted to start on concept art for the character in the rooms, but I didn't. That ended up happening on day 5, which day 5 that's 5 days ago, you know, being day 10 today. Day 5 we actually did do some art for the rooms. I created the kitchen baseline art, which you saw that was in those screenshots or images. I think this was the first one that I created. So this is the first piece of actual art that I produced for the game. I didn't end up doing anything else. That was like a lot of that was just like looking at images and creating stuff. So like day 5, we probably did more programming on day 5 or something. I don't really know. I'd have to go look at the VOD. But day 5 was pretty unproductive in terms of like actually getting a lot of things done, but it was laying the groundwork for making things happen. So I day 6 finished the art for that, did the art for the basement and the backyard. Mate, I'm streaming. He just got home from Taekwondo, so he probably wants to talk to me about that. Also, it's movie night tonight, so I got to end the stream soon. Continue art production, so yeah, we did that. Maybe make a spice... Oh, this is a suggestion from a viewer. Maybe make a spice rack when the player looks at it, it's all cinnamon. Maybe powdered red herring. I don't know. It's an interesting idea. Maybe we'll come back to that when we're on refinement. I don't remember. I didn't attribute who this was from, unfortunately. Can you come to movie night? What are we watching? I don't know what we're watching, and no, you can't come. It's a family movie night. Sorry, Pi. Day 7 was pretty good, actually, because we did basically everything else, except for, I think we finished all the backgrounds on day 7. It was a really productive day. Day 8, started working on the character design. Background art, we did a little bit of polishing for that. I didn't get any animation done. Day 9 was super productive, although I had actually done some work between day 8 and 9 to make a little bit more progress. So we got our main character fully, all of the poses that I needed for the main character. And I even did a use/grab animation, which is pretty cool as well. I implemented the grabbing animation in the game engine and all the directions for the sprite character. This is yesterday, so, you know. And then I also implemented, even though I haven't spelt that right. Yep, I know. Yep, thank you. I was getting reminded about the movie night. Implement global function. I implemented a global function called play. I'll just uncheck it so you can read it. Implemented a global function called player interact, which flexibly allows the user to interact with stuff on using the grab animation. So basically, I wrapped something that goes around the grab animation that lets you pick up an item, toggle a object on the scene, the visibility of the object, move to a specific spot before any of that happens, and specify which direction the character should face as well. So, and it allows you to not provide those values or provide unusable, like, you know, skip it kind of values to it as well. So it's fully flexible, very powerful little tool that just makes the game implementation a lot easier, but also just fixes a lot of problems. Like, it's actually very good. I'm quite happy with that little function that I made. It's going to make implementing the rest of the game like a lot easier. I've already been able to clean up a bunch of code by using it, so it's great. Day 10 we're on right now. We're working on the right animation. I'm not going to be able to finish it all, but we'll try and get a little bit more done in the next like 10 minutes or so. Day 2774 went pretty well over here. That's great. That's great, Noru. I'm glad to hear it. I know you've been working on your game for a long time, so I really do hope that every day is a very good day. You guys can have your own movie night. That's a great idea. Hey, Zachary Hutton. Good to see you. Welcome. I hope movie night has a popcorn machine and soda fountain. We don't have a soda fountain, but we do have microwavable popcorn, which we'll be using. So we got half of what you need. External testing likely to start in February. Oh, that's awesome. That's fantastic to hear. That's really soon. Awesome. So yeah, that's what we're basically trying to work on, this animation. Obviously I got the game. I'm not going to demonstrate the game now. Unfortunately, I don't have time for demonstrating the game. But you can see the character is here. She does sort of like slide around. She has her own sort of like look and style that I think fits this game very nicely, the design. I did base the character design on the LucasArts Day of the Tentacle character designs. I just wanted her to look like she could fit in that world. I think she does. I took a lot of influence from all those characters. Hoagie's hands in the pocket, for example. Hoagie sort of, overall there's a lot of Hoagie vibes here, but there's also some vibes that come from Laverne and Bernard to a small degree. Bernard has a little bit of influence on this character design as well. But yeah, in general, she's fantastic. I really like the way she looks. I'm very happy with how this turned out. I wasn't sure if it was going to work, but it's worked very well. I'm pretty happy about it. I don't know why the code for facing direction, she turns right all the time. She only ever turns right. Isn't that like a Zoolander thing? Anyway, we got to implement this animation for walking. That's what I've been working on today. We did basically a bunch of work just thinking about it, trying to get things happening. I eventually came over here and did this. I think it's good enough for a thing. So I'm just going to go ahead and quickly slap it together. Now that I have my template to work from. I'm gonna quickly try and slap something together here. Just for like a couple of the frames, maybe. Because I don't think I have time to really go beyond that right now. There's probably also a little bit of squish, and so like for people who know animation, you know what I mean when I say squish, but if you don't, it's a pretty self-descriptive name. But when you animate things, you want things to squash and stretch. So with a walk cycle, you probably don't need that much squash and stretch. It's more for like when you have an impact, or like a character wants to like run off the screen. You want to anticipate it, so you like pull the character back before they move, and sort of like bunch up their legs and stuff like that. And then when they run, their legs will stretch out more. That's the squash and stretch sort of idea. I may want to implement just a little bit of that subtly on the character, so when they're bobbing down, like their body might get a little bit wider around the belly, and their torso is shortened like maybe a pixel or two, like very, very faint. Maybe that'll just happen with like the color of the pixels as well, because we are working at pixel level. Anyway, Tawe, thank you. I'm really happy to hear that you like, especially from somebody as talented as yourself. That's very kind of you to say. Thank you. New layer. I don't know why I'm doing this with layers right now, but I guess it'll just help me to realign everything if I need to. I don't really know where to position the arm. I'm gonna go with here, because I can't see it. Yeah, about there. I didn't end up really moving the arm around that much in the end anyway as well, so there's that to consider too. I'm not going to be able to do this for like most of the frames, honestly. This is like where the legs are going to go in and stuff like that. That's where this is going to... I won't just be able to rely on copy and paste, unfortunately. Where is that? That needs to be there. Yeah, it's already like the alignment's a little off and stuff, so we'll work on it. I can rotate, but it's going to use... it's going to mess things up a lot. That's fine. Something like that. Let's go and paste in the lower leg. Again, rotate that. Oi! Thank you very much for the follow. I appreciate it. And new layer. Drop it back here. Somewhere about there. So yeah, I'm just reconstructing the character as I constructed it over here, but by doing it here, where I can like individually move the limbs around and get the animation like roughed in the vector editor, even though they're not vectors, and then export that and then use that as a baseline to draw over the top of. And I'm just taking advantage of the fact that I've already broken these parts out, so I'm going to draw over all these pixels later on. Like most of the pixels will get redrawn except for the face probably. But yeah. Anyway, and I'll also do things like secondary movement of the hair as you're bobbing up and down. You want the hair to bob up and down a bit too. Anyway, I gotta be quick about the rest of this. I think it might even just be quicker at this point, just to add another layer at the bottom here, and just draw in the other leg. It's probably actually faster than trying to use copy and paste techniques. Again, I'm just going for rough. I'm not going for detail here. Maybe tiny. We'll like try and respect some of the details, but yeah. For the most part, just getting it roughly in. Whoops. Oh yeah, I didn't close the tip of the shoe. Out of sight, out of mind, you know. There we go. That's like a frame, roughly animated. And I can just hide the background and merge visible. And we'll have one frame. Do I want to do that? Sure, why not? Merge. Where's merge visible, dude? I guess I can do this. I can do a Control Shift C, Control V as a new layer. Does that work? No. What? Okay, there you go. So it does work, but just not the way I wanted. Anyway, there you go. So yeah, frame 1 of animation, rough animation, done. Obviously we've got a gap here that I can fill in, which I'll do now. Probably something like that, I guess. We can clean this up a bit more too. Like it's pretty rough, but that's a good start. Thanks for the stream, Mike. I gotta head off. No worries. Cat's playtime and have a few drinks outside. Enjoy, Rue. Enjoy. All right. So that's where we're at. That's where we got up to. So we almost got our first 4 frames of the walk cycle in. I should be able to knock these out pretty quickly offline. Maybe we'll get to it on Saturday. Next dev stream should be Saturday. Very unlikely for tomorrow, but yeah, I can't raid either. Sorry, everybody, I can't raid. But the default rules for Twitch is to accept raids from channels that are 30 days old or older, or older than 30 days. My channel is only 10 days old. I cannot raid anybody. So thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thanks for sticking that out with me today. I had some fun creating this art. I'm gonna just quickly save it before I forget to. The walk cycle. There we go. That's saved. So I'll just keep on working on this offline probably. If I get if I can squeeze some time in tomorrow or on Saturday before I stream, I'll do that. And maybe we'll have like half of the walk cycle done, and we can actually put it in the game and see what the character looks like when they walk around the game. See what we need to adjust and things like that. I think there's some issues that I can already see with this animation that I need to fix up, just like positional stuff. But we can work on that as time allows, as time permits. I kind of want to add a little bit of like, I want the character to feel quite fluid with its movement, so probably we'll work on the animations a fair bit, but getting the rough ones in, that's what we need to start from, and then we can start to refine it. Just the same way as I've done everything with the art in the game. Sometimes it looks horrible, and yeah. It's going to be 8 frames, Love and Thunder. It's going to be 8 frames. This is just half of it. Yeah. Alright, cheers, Guts Aplenty. Thank you. You have a good night too, or good day, wherever you are in the world. Have a good time. I don't have time to do anything else. I don't even have time to... Do I? I'm gonna... I've got a couple of minutes. Let's just finish off doing this. We'll update the document. We did day 10. We got halfway. I'll make a note here. I'll make a note. We got halfway done. But that was... A lot of effort went into thinking about it and getting research done. Now that we're done with that, we'll be able to actually get the game. Like we have an animation technique that we can use Inkscape to help us with, which is like great. That's very good. In fact, I should definitely make sure I go and save this document too. E drive, users, mic, documents, sandwich, room assets. Assets? No, assets. Characters. The guy. There we go. So that's saved. Alright, back to the document. Day 10, we did day 10. We didn't get all of these things that we hoped to get done, but we did get a lot done. Day 11 now. Day 11. Let's just paste those in and make that a subtitle. And finish, walk, right. Alito Spring, please say literally anything in the chat if you're a real person. Because I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't want that link. I'm gonna turn off people posting links, actually. That's weird. Thank you. Bye. Save everything in the clouds. Also, time out spam, maybe. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for that. Bye. Yeah, I don't know what that will. I feel bad because I don't know if that was a real person or not, but it didn't seem like they were a real person, and I wasn't going to click that link. That's right, Love and Thunder. I don't know. I'll leave link posting available, but I don't know about that. Finish walking right animation. Because we're halfway there now, so I think we'll definitely finish that, at least the rough version, and then walking up and down animations, we'll see if we get to it or not, but we can use a similar technique. Hello, I'm from Australia. I need help with choosing sausages. Have a nice beef sausage. I can help you with that. Have a nice beef sausage, buddy. No one. Maybe with some garlic in it. I don't know. You can get some pretty good sausages these days. Go to your local butcher and buy sausages from them. Yeah, ask before posting links is generally a good idea. Spam, malware, copy paste. Okay, thank you, DNU. If you've seen it before, that does make me feel a bit more comfortable. Again, thank you for the follows. I do have anonymous follows, so if you have followed tonight and I haven't said hello to you, it's not because I'm trying to be offensive. I'm actually trying to be nice. So if you do come back and since you followed and you want to like post in the chat and engage with the chat, that's totally welcome. I'd really appreciate it, in fact. So yeah, that's it from me. Oh, Love and Thunder, they weren't talking about you. It was like just referring to the person who was there. Hey, Ross Codes. Did you just get here? Ross, I'm so sorry. I'm literally ending now. I'm so sorry. But I guess you can check the VODs if you want to see what's been happening. You can probably skip through the VODs and see what's been happening. I just worked on some animation stuff tonight. A quick rundown of that is I used Inkscape and pasted my pixel art in there and moved bits of pixel art around to copy the walk cycle from Hoagie, who this character has a lot of her qualities emulating from that character design, as well as from like Laverne and Bernard as well, but the pose with hands in pockets is definitely a Hoagie thing, so I sort of use that as a baseline to get the walk cycle in. I'm probably going to like adjust this a fair bit once I've seen it in motion, but yeah, I needed to get it out there so I could see what it was going to look like. I do apologize though that I can't hang out longer with you, Ross. It's just tonight I've got movie night and I gave myself a bonus 5 minutes to talk, and I've done that, and I can't keep extending the stream. Sorry about that. But yeah, you can see my animation up there. The frames of it, at least, that I've completed. We'll complete the rest later. I just wanted to see what it would look like once we go into this tool and take a look at it there. It's coming along. It's coming along. In fact, what I could probably do, just to see it in game, is probably just not even bother with this part. Just get all four frames into the game and see what it looks like then. Probably something I could do. You'll catch the next one. No worries, Ross Codes. It should be on Saturday. I don't think I'll do one tomorrow. I think we'll break the streak tomorrow. I don't think I'll be able to manage it, but we'll see. Stoked to see the follow-up animation stream. Yeah, I'm stoked to continue focusing on the animations. The animations is like literally the only blocker for me finishing the game at the moment. Everything else is optional. So after the animations are done, everything, I could release it after the animations are done, right? It's just polish from then on out. So animations are the last major feature to add to the game. Pretty exciting stuff. So anyway, that's it from me. I'm sorry I can't raid anybody. I will talk to you all later. Have fun. And good night. And ending soon. There we go. Bye-bye.